The liberals said, "Thank you, Obama, for life in the red. Thank you for DAP and a pat on the head. Thank you for saving the banks, as millions are drowning their debt. Thank you for all of the fluff and the nothing you said. Thank you for proving we eat up identity politics. All of your policy better forgotten, just tell us what books you read. Tell us what record was top of your playlist, turning a wedding to Day of the Dead. What Quavo song went along on a heavy rotation, bombing Iraqis in bed? When they told you that 90% of your kills are civilian, what Jill Scott chorus was stuck in your head? What put you at rest after such a long day of convincing a nation it wasn't so deeply misled, that you weren't just Reagan with New Age media training, who fed on our hopes like his daily bread, who preyed on the weak, who was never unwilling to serve you a speech to remind you the middle class needed to bleed, and you helped us succeed if you learned to accept it, and better yet, learn how to laugh as they bled. Round of applause. Laughter erupts. Mike gets dropped. It's the end of his set. And the crowd, once hungry, are now on stunned from the glow of celebrity, which is impressive, especially since they're contented to sit and be civil while all of the donors are fed. They thin out the herd by 1 million a week if it gives the elite an illusion of peace, like they're out of the path of the future we reap, and they won't be debris in the wake of its tread. The future is now, bathe in the sound, drown in the dread. Hide in the lounge, hire more guards at your gatehouse, hire someone to come build you a safe house under your shed. Hide with your diamonds and files, the files you keep to yourself and the files you keep for the feds. Hide in the dark for a while and watch all the value regress. Watch all the worth of your wealth on this earth melt down in a pool with the rest of the cess. The affluence left over after the worldly collapse of the affluent. After it's back to the dirt with the rights of their birth, privileged smirks and their unpaid taxes, #blast. This has all been a nightmare, capitalism was only a test. So you need not weep and you need not repeat what the liberals said. We will not be saved by people who say that the water is safe while they look in your face and they pantomime sips of lead. Honey, nobody's lifting us out of this mess.
chance, we'll be here together. I see you for who you are. I've opened up my life, open up yours. Take a chance, we'll be here together forever. As the waves roll and start to drown, undertow is coming now. As the waves roll and start to drown, undertow is coming now.
As it should be, as it should be. You see, lad, every moment of pleasure in life has to be purchased by an equal moment of pain.
I've opened up my life, opened up yours. Take a chance, we'll be here together. I see you for who you are. I've opened up my life, opened up yours. Take a chance, we'll be here together forever. As the waves roll and start to drown, undertow is coming now. As the waves roll and start to drown, undertow is coming now.
It costs that much cause it takes me fucking hours. It costs that much cause I don't have superpowers. So you need to pay for my skills cause exposure doesn't pay the bills. It costs that much cause it takes me fucking hours. You need to pay for my skills cause exposure doesn't pay the bills. It costs that much cause it takes me fucking hours.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Saturday night / Sunday morning, depending on your place on this round orb we call planet Earth. Earth, E-A-R-F. Your Uncle Warren here. Happy Saturday to you. Hopefully your turkey day was pretty decent. You didn't OD on the tryptophan. Sorry, the gamer in the chat said he had a pizza. I said I had a peanut butter sandwich. Stand on ceremony. Just want to fill our belly. We don't give a shit. It was fun though. Everybody, if you're new to the channel, to this crazy ass show, please heed the warning of the satanic chicken. This guy will come to your house, steal your silverware, beat you to an inch of your life, leave you for dead in Tijuana. That's true story. Seriously, don't fuck with that bird. That bird's no good. But I'll tell you who is good is this chica right here, Miss Jimi. How you doing?
I am not
good. Even. Look at you in the magic Christmas forest behind you.
We'll see how long it lasts.
So, a little backstory. So the stripy curtain there behind her. When I first started seeing Jimi do on live streams, she had that background, right? And you would get on there with you were usually on there with Joe Firestone, right, on KRTD. And yeah. Hey Ghost Star, good to see you, bud. And then so I remember one night I was making you laugh, saying like there were scary trees behind you, and then the teacher Joe, he caught, it was like people passing notes in class, and he caught the note and he goes, "Yeah, well, yeah, Warren's in the chat there. When I say the scary trees, what?" Anyway, I don't know. I forgot what he said.
Trying to catch me off guard and shit, like asking me if I was paying attention. I'm like, oh no.
It's class. Yeah, it was like, man, this class is the snooze. We're gonna talk about the scary trees behind you. Let's say hi to everybody in the chat that's here. We got a nice little crowd tonight. Gamers here, as I said, Mr. Pizza, Ghost Start, Snipe Hunter is here. Hello, Snipe Hunter. Miss Brandy, good to see you. Willie Bragg, the Willie Bragg Show. I had Willie on early this week on Monday night on the Extra Bulla Live, and we had a blast talking about politics and talking about Carolina barbecue. That's good stuff. So thank you again for that, Willie. I appreciate you. Jilly Love's here. Good to see you. Who else we got up in here? Shelly's here. I know Miguel was here in the mix. Les Bones, one of our producers. So if you want to be a producer for this crazy show or any of the shows here on Extra Bulla, You know, just the link is my link tree is pinned as well as Jimmy's too. So if you want to donate to the show, that's great too. You can become a Patreon or a Ko-fi or whatever the hell it's called. You know, if you can't do it, that's fine. If you can like and share the show, that helps out too. Every little bit helps. So thank you for that. I think that's everybody. Yona, I know Yona is in here somehow. Yona's gonna, I know how Yona works. Yona's gonna stay here until probably about, I'm gonna say 30 minutes. Then he's gonna get so fucking crunk. He's gonna pass the fuck out, and that's it. But he's hard work. He's a working man. So I don't blame you, brother. VS Adams is here too. Good to see you. I think I got everybody. I'm sure more will pile in like a clown car. Oh, Anthony too. Anthony, good to see you, brother. Yeah. I think that's it. So, how was your Thanksgiving, Jimmy? Did you have fun?
Yeah, it was good. Nice and quiet. Made, you know, the Thanksgiving basics that I love and just had dinner. I got fucked up by the tryptophan and passed out and fell asleep till like the next morning. It was actually pretty bad. So I never eat turkey. So it definitely hit me hard this year for sure. It was great.
I don't eat turkey either because that would make me a cannibal. Because I'm a jive turkey.
Oh.
Soon.
You and your sound.
We sound like an old married couple. It's like I'll do some crazy shit. You go, you and your sounds. I swear, I can't get no peace. I can't get no peace. Actually, Thanksgiving, we attempted to do live streams with some games. I don't know, technical difficulties. Then we said, fuck it, we're stopped streaming, but we still play games. We're gonna talk about this game that we played a little bit later in the show, because I've got a little gaming clip for Jimmy, a little surprise for her. Oh, there she is. What's up, Cheryl? Good to see you, sweetheart. Hello, all you awesome people.
Hi, Velvet.
That includes you too, dear. So, you know, I'm pretty sure you knew that already. So, but we gotta first things first. We have to take care of some business with our speaking of yard birds and tryptophan. Let's check in on the Chicken City. Check in on our friends over there, our little birdies. I see you. You made it through Thanksgiving. Be glad you're not turkeys, there, chicken people. Because yeah, you know. But every day it's like Thanksgiving for chickens, you know, because people eat chicken every day. Turkey is just kind of like kind of a once a year thing, you know. So this is like death row for chickens. Pretty much. I don't know why we show this. It's just heartbreaking. I don't know why. It's like we try to give them a little bit of happiness before they get sent off, you know, for the lethal injection. So, anywho,
I think they live. I think they're just they give eggs for whoever owns them.
Velvet says she's here for the hot chicken footage. Of course.
That's right.
This is the only, I mean, except for Chicken City itself, and you can check them out on YouTube. It is Chicken City. Shout out to them and all the stoners in the chat there. Let me see how many people watch it. There's like there's only 13 people watching that stream. I am shocked. Usually there's like 50 people stoned out of their gourd just sitting there watching chickens all night. So, you know,
that's awesome.
So we actually have more people watching this show than Chicken City. This is the apocalypse.
It is.
Oh, we got Denver Attaway over there on the Rockfin too. Let me look over here real quick and see this nice person. Hey Warren, I got a nice one here. It's a brawl in New York City pizza shop. One guy even starts hitting a guy with a steel sauce ladle. Wow. Okay. That's on the tweeters too. Okay, let me copy this. Because we're gonna have to see what that does. This gonna be is this safe for work? I don't care if it is or not. Hopefully you're not playing this show at work. Because yeah, it's not safe at all. Especially when we start talking about the sex toys. So before we get to the fun stuff, the love is in the air. Apparently, Jimmy, did you know that? Mm-hmm. That it's February is what? December. It's 3 months away, so Valentine's Day is 3 months away, but love is in the air. And
it's an early Christmas present for me.
It's, you would not believe who is in love. Oof. This is gonna shock your pants off. So apparently AOC and Elon Musk are batting eyes at each other, right? Yeah. Yep. So I hope this works. Oh no, it didn't look at it right there. She looks kind of sad, but let's just watch this video and see what the hell happens.
I apologize.
That was perfect.
I'm breaking all the rules.
Well, I guess we might make some mistakes. Who knows?
I think one of the biggest problems we have in DC is that everyone's egos are too big.
I actually just prefer to have no titles at all.
You're opening yourself up.
I'm just being me. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my god. I need it. I need to see the full thing. Absolutely.
Who knew? Who knew, right? I mean, I'm tearing up. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my
Lord, it makes
Lord
me feel
Jesus.
some kind of way and everything. Man, it's perfect. It's like I said on Twitter, it is literally the movie I never thought I needed. And I need it.
I know, right? That's the shit. Forget Lifetime. That's got to go straight to theaters. That is definitely that is winner chicken dinner. Sorry. No offense to you guys. Not you chicken dinner. The just the saying chicken dinner. So yeah, that was wild. So yeah, it was so I can't oh man, who it was, it Michael somebody on Twitter. He shared that, and it was just first time I watched it, I was just like, what the fuck is this? And it's so beautifully edited. It's just like, if you didn't know who those two people are, you would think they were in love. You would think that it was just like some sort of reality show, like maybe The Bachelor or something like that.
Yep.
But because
perfect.
Because we know who those people are, that just makes it extra funny. So well, Chili says it's the week's grossest video winner. Yep. Yeah, I feel a certain kind of way about it too, but it is what it is. But
I love it.
Maybe they are in love, because she thinks everybody wants.
Yeah, I need more.
She thinks everybody's trying to date her, right? So she probably thinks that Elon's trying to date her too. I don't know. Isn't Elon married? No, Elon's not married, is he?
Mm-mm.
He has a girlfriend, I think.
I think so. Like back and forth with Grimes.
Right, right. I don't know who that is. Is that a person? Is that somebody
Yeah,
he
she's like a
developed in the
singer
lab?
from Canada.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Going north of the border for his ladies. That's terrible.
But she does that weird, odd music like Bjork.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Bjork is. Do you like Bjork?
Yes, I do very much.
I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent these days. When she first came out, it was just like, this is just too weird, you know. But
Definitely
at the same time, yeah, but at the same time, you know, I was listening to like, you know, bands like Art of Noise and Yellow. You know, do you know who Yellow is?
I know Yellow Card.
Yellow. You probably know the song though. It was in Ferris Bueller's Day Off. It's called "Oh Yeah," and it's that.
Possibly.
Oh yeah, boom, bom, bom, ba-doom, doo, 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 bom, bom.
Yes.
That's it. That's the name of the group, Yellow.
Yes, I know that song. Okay.
Everybody knows the song, but a lot of people don't know who did it. So, Shelley thinks Bjork is alien, and Bjork hasn't aged because she isn't from Earth.
I agree. I could agree with that.
I think so. I know she was famous for, what was it? It was the Oscars. Was she at the Oscars and she had the big goose around her neck?
Yeah,
thing?
the goose dress.
The goose dress.
Yes.
What? I don't get that. Why was she wearing a dead goose around her neck?
Just to make a statement. Why did Lady Gaga wear a meat dress? Just statements.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, a meat dress, I could kind of understand that, maybe. Actually, I can't. I don't understand that at all either.
Yeah.
Oh, was it? Oh, yeah. It was either the Grammys or MTV Music Awards.
It might have been MTV Music Video Awards. Yeah, she might be right.
Oh, it was a swan? I say a goose?
Yeah, I knew what you meant.
Well, he said, why would AOC wear a Chick-fil-A dress? That was straight up a Chick-fil-A dress. It should, instead of saying tax the rich, it should have said eat more chicken. And it was
More chicken. Jesus Christ.
CHIK with a K backwards, EN.
No.
All I got to say about Chick-fil-A is Popeyes is open on Sunday. You heard? Right. Popeyes don't give a fuck about Jesus, right? He said, come on and get these sandwiches today. Love that chicken from Popeyes. You like Popeyes chicken?
I don't eat too many chicken places. So I don't know.
And I really shouldn't talk about Popeyes chicken either. I am so sorry, guys. I am really sorry. Seriously, I am getting so much stink eye. He's like, you keep talking about eating chickens. Fuck you, dude.
I know.
If birds could talk, they would tell me to go fuck myself. And they'd be right. No, they'd be right. They'd be right. I deserve that. But anyway, so we were playing video games on Thanksgiving Day. Myself, Miss Jimi, and our buddy Les Bones was in the mix too. So we were playing this game, Grounded. Grounded is, they were telling me about it, and I was thinking about it. I was like, it's basically Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, the video game. But it's a lot more involved than what the movie showed. There's like, there's crafting. You're right. You have to craft things. Yep. You have to fight bugs that normally a normal person would just step on, but you're so small that these things are giant. There's spiders in there too.
Yeah, you thought the ants were spiders.
Yeah, I there that game is so realistic looking as far as like the bugs are concerned. They have a setting on there where you can make the spiders less scary. So, and I was like, nah, fuck that. I want to be scared. Hey, what's up,
tried
Indy?
it
Good to see
once,
you.
but you can barely see them through the leaves. Like they're just two blobs, and it's really, really hard to see them. So you might as well just scare yourself. It's what you're there for.
I mean, that's the first time I've ever I've ever seen that something like that on a video game, right? Where you,
Me
if
too.
you're sensitive to a certain element. Now in recent years, you know, they'll have warnings about like strobe light effects, you know, for people with epilepsy or whatever, you know, or people who are affected by like flashing lights and stuff. I've seen that, and that's been, and that's fairly recent too. That's a little more. But back in the day, it was just like, nah, man, there's gonna be blood and guts. Sorry.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Yep.
There's no tuning it to where you can make shit less scary. I think that's when they started. I think it was like the 90s. Was it the 90s? I think it was that's when they started rating video games, because they started becoming so realistic looking that they had to T for teens. I mean, I think they're all rated T for teens, though, right? I haven't, or are there any M for mature games? Maybe there are. I guess like the like the sex games. There's sex games that are like that. Maybe I mean,
Well, there
you
was
know,
that,
like
that one Jack Black video game for the PlayStation.
he had a video game for PlayStation.
Yeah, that was mature. You could choose whether or not you wanted gore and whether or not you wanted cursing as well.
Really? Wait a minute. Was it a Tenacious D video game?
Yeah, because they were both in it, but it's like Jack Black plays some like character that goes like, I don't know, underground to hell, where they're like trying to save their world, and it's kind of like strategy playing where you set down your pieces and then let it fight and, you know, defend and guard and keep adding more people to the battle until, you know, you go to the next area and then continue on, but it's still like open world as well. It was really interesting. Like you can get your upgrade area was Ozzy Osbourne. He was like
Nice.
the gatekeeper of the upgrades for your car and your axe and your guitar, which your guitar, like, you played strings and like killed people with the music that came out. It was really actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've never heard of that game, but there was, I mean, there was a stretch there. It's like I grew up with like 80s video games, and then I got to Nintendo, and then I stopped for a few years and didn't really start picking video games back up until probably like, I don't know, maybe like I think when I got my Xbox back in 2015, I think that's when I started picking video games back up. It was a long gap. It was a good 10 to 15 years where I wasn't like playing video games, but I do love those video games. They're so much fun. What's up, Purple Philosophy? Good to see you. But yeah, this game Grounded that we were playing is so much fun, and it's even better when you're playing with other people. So like I was telling you today, Jimmy, I was playing it by myself this morning. Since I'm East Coast, I knew your ass wasn't going to be awake. So I was playing. I was just trying to like, I was using the tips and stuff that you and Les Bones had showed me. And you know, but still I died several times. It was always spiders, and I just go barging in there, just no plan, you know, just fuck it. It's just you know, but I was telling you that there's a precedent for that kind of behavior. I mean, I know people have done this before, but back in 2005, there was a video that came out and it's great. It really just nails the asshole gamer to a T in this video. So it's the legend of Leroy Jenkins, right? So a little backstory. This was 2005, and they're playing World of Warcraft, right? So 2005, you know, online, still relatively new concept to playing video games, right? Like nowadays, yeah, you know it, Velvet. Leroy Jenkins. But Jimmy has not seen this video. So I said to her today, I said, this is like any online gamer, especially if they play with others, this is like your rite of passage. This is something you have to do. This is like taking the bar exam for lawyers, right? You have to watch this video to call yourself a true gamer. So, so I want you to watch this, and I hope you enjoy it. And now remember, this is 2005, so the video's not that great looking, the quality's not that good, and it's not, you know, it's not high def or anything. So you have to take that in consideration. So, let's take a look at it. This is the Legend of Leroy Jenkins.
It's a video game.
Okay, guys, these eggs have given us a lot of trouble in the past. Does anybody need anything off this guy, or can we bypass him?
I think Leroy needs something from this guy.
Oh, he needs those devout shoulders, doesn't...
Now, Leroy is this guy right here. He's the guy on the bottom left. You see the green highlight around his bottom there. Okay, so just pay attention to that guy.
Isn't he a paladin?
Yeah, but that'll help him heal better. He'll have more mana.
Christ. Okay, well, what we'll do, I'll run in first, gather up all the eggs so we can kind of just, you know, blast them all down with AoE.
But just one more thing before I let the rest of this video play. So they're setting it up, right? These guys are just planning everything out, right? They got this huge battle they're about to take on, and they got to get all the, you know, dot all the I's, cross all the T's. Everything has to go to plan. Okay, now I won't interrupt anymore. Watch the rest of the video. It's fun.
I will use Intimidating Shout to kind of scatter them so we don't have to fight a whole bunch of them at once. When my shout's done, I'll need Anthony to come in and drop his shout too, so we can keep them scattered, not to fight too many. When his is done, Bass, of course, will need to run in and do the same thing. We're going to need Divine Intervention on our mages, so they can AE, so we can, of course, get them down fast, because we're bringing all these guys. I mean, we'll be in trouble if we don't take them down quick. I think it's a pretty good plan. We should be able to pull it off this time. What do you think, Abdul? Can you give me a number crunch real quick?
Yeah, give me a sec. I'm coming up with 32.33, repeating, of course, percentage of survival.
Oh, that's a lot better than we usually do.
Alright, thumbs up.
Ready, guys?
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins!
Oh my god, he just ran in. Save him!
Oh, geez, stick to the plan!
Oh, Jesus. Let's go.
Stick to the plan, Shove.
Stick to the plan!
Oh, gee. Oh, fuck.
Give me Divine Intervention!
Hurry up.
Shout. He's saying I can't cast! I can't move, am I lagging, guys?
I can't move! What the hell? I can't AE! Oh my god.
The eggs keep spawning, more respawning!
I don't think you can cast with that shit. Oh my god.
We
Shout!
got him.
Take it off, I got it. Take it off!
Come on, stay down.
Oh my god.
God damn it, Leroy!
God damn it.
Leroy, you moron! Leroy.
Jimmy.
This is ridiculous.
I'm on it. Don't mass. I'm down, forking down. God damn it. I got killed before I could
we
remove
died
him.
on this. God. Oh, Spiffy, res us.
Why do you do this shit, Leroy?
I'm trying.
It's not my fault.
Who's Soul
It's not my
Stone?
fault.
We do have a soul stone up, don't we?
Anthony, do you got Soul Stones?
Warlock.
Oh god.
Oh, for...
Great job,
What's
guys.
up?
For Christ's sake. Leroy, you were just stupid as hell.
Over him.
At least I have chicken.
At least I'm not a chicken. Why is that us? Why is that all of us? That's ridiculous.
Right? I mean, you could totally relate to that, right?
Absolutely.
Hey, Ram says, "Is this Gauntlet?" No, it's World of Warcraft. Close, but yeah. So the fun thing about that shit is the fact it's just the setup, right? They're just, you know, just super planning this out. Like, this is the big one. This is the big battle they've been waiting for. They were probably planning for it for days, you know, and they finally get together, all those cats, you know, and they're planning it out. Okay, you're going to cast this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this. And then Leroy Jenkins said, "Fuck it, I'm going in."
Why do I feel like you are Leroy Jenkins?
Right? That's my game style. That's my game style. Y'all be planning, and I'm like, look, this ain't World War II. I'm going in. And then I always get my ass kicked, right? First thing. Like today, we were playing today, and it was like nighttime in the game, right? And I think you and Lesbos were out back at the house or something, and you're like, "Oh yeah, we need to go get so and so this thing out there, but we'll wait till morning." And I'm halfway to the thing, and it's dark. I don't have a torch, and then what happened? I got my ass kicked, and like I'm running back to the house. So
Yep, absolutely.
Oh my god, I love that shit. I've done that in paintball before too. Like they try to have like a plan or something, and like it's capture the flag, right? So it's basically, you know, you just trying to get it. If you get the flag, you know, then and bring it back to your camp, then you win, right? So that was. So I was like, they're all like scheming, like, okay, we're gonna flank left here. You do this, you go flank left. I said, fuck it. I started running. I said, I'm gonna sacrifice myself to get the flag. And I'm running, and I trip over a root, land right on my face, and then I look up, and one of the dudes from the other team is just laughing at me, and then he shoots a paintball right in my head. So it was just like, Leroy, you're so stupid. And then I went back to the group, and it was sad, and they all laughed at me. So anyway, you try to be a hero, you know, and then, you know, but that's what that video floated around forever. That video is 17 years old, by the way, almost 18 years old. Nice. And it's still to this day just the way it's all set up at the beginning, and then him just saying, fuck it, I'm going in. And then at the very end, he says, at least I got chicken. So, you know, again.
Oh my God.
Again, guys, that's Leroy, not me. So be mad at that guy. That guy was probably in, I don't know, he was probably in, I would say he's probably in high school or something like that. So now that guy's probably in his 30s or something, regretting his life choices. Oh my goodness. So what did you think about that video?
That was great. That was fucking hilarious. That's all of us. That's totally us. So it's great.
Randy says she still plays World of Warcraft. Yeah, you were telling me that the other day. We were I think we were on a gaming stream, and Brandy was in chat, said she was playing World of Warcraft. So I've never played World of Warcraft. I've played Diablo 2 and 3. I really love Diablo 2. I thought Diablo 2 was fantastic. It still kind of holds up today. I mean, yeah, it's 3D, but it's one of those you only have 4 angles that you can move kind of situation, you know. It's not like full, you know, movement. But yeah, it was so good. You could get like, yeah, right. I never played the first one. I only played the last 2. But it was, you could get weapons that had slots in it, and then you'd find you'd find certain jewels that had certain properties, and you could put them in the weapons and enhance them, and you go against these characters. And there was a secret cow level too. So you had to do the game a certain way. I can't remember. I think you had to get some item like Wirt's leg, I think is what it was called. Which is kind of meaningless. It didn't do anything. It wasn't like you could use it as a weapon, but it was just kind of worthless. But if you had that at the end of the game, I think you could you could get into this cow level, right? And you're just, all it is cows, like these high level cows, and you're just killing the cows. Yeah, these guys know. Schlatsky said Diablo 2, one of the best games ever. The first was special too. Like I said, I've never played the first one, but that second one was so awesome. Antiganda says cow level. Hell yeah. Good to see both of you. Thanks for coming out this evening. We're talking about video games and more like team ups in video games. So Diablo 2 was a single player. It wasn't like multiplayer. I think, I could be wrong, I think Diablo 3 is a multiplayer game, but it's kind of in the same vein as World of Warcraft, where you have like different character classes. Like you have a barbarian, you have a mage, I think you have a necromancer that can raise the dead, and you can fight with skeletons and stuff. That's usually what I played as. I usually play as a necromancer, and I just had it like an entourage of just dead animals and people around me doing my bidding. I always thought that was pretty cool. You ever play any of the Diablo games? You never played those?
I think I played like the beginning of the second one, but I didn't get into it. No.
Yeah, because it's got that old guy who says, he goes, "Stay a while and listen." Can't remember what his name was.
Very puzzly, right? To do things in the game.
It's some of them were. I mean, some of them it was mostly it's mostly hack and slash, kind of thing. But you explored like underground caves and stuff like that, and you had like I said, you collected certain items. You could get amulets and rings and armor. You could like Deckard Cain. Thank you, Schlatsky. Deckard Cain was the character's name. Stay a while and listen. I got that for my ringtone for a while, and then I had to stop because I was getting tired of it. But it was so for that time, it was amazing. It was just like so in depth, that game. Like I said, the graphics weren't like great, but they were pretty decent for the time. But that's probably, and it was a PC game too, so it wasn't like for any of the consoles or anything like that. It was probably, I'd have to say, for the time I spent playing that game, you would finish it and then you start over with a harder level, right? So let's say you started off easy, then the next time you went all the way through, and it'd be harder to do. The all the demons and all the creatures and stuff would be a lot harder, but you would get a better payoff too, as far as like better weapons and that sort of thing. And you did it like 2 or 3 times till you got to the nightmare one, which was just hard as fuck. It was like incredibly hard. But but then I think the first time I ever played a multiplayer game with someone that wasn't in the same building as I was I played Duke Nukem with a buddy over modem, right? So in those days, this was like I want to say early 90s. This is when I was in college, and so someone would host the game, and then you would you'd dial on your modem their phone number, and then, you know, the two would connect, and then you could play Duke Nukem together. That was the only game I did that with.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, it was cool. Duke Nukem was great because you had you could use the function keys on the keyboard, and all it was just shit talking. It was just like you could say each one was a different way to just shit talk the other person. And so we were just like blowing each other up with like pipe bombs and shit like that. And it's like, you know, your mother was a better fighter than you are, you know, but it wasn't that lame. It was like, it was actually funny, you know, and it helped if you were stoned too. So
Of course.
that was old school games, right? What was the first video game you ever played?
Ever?
That, well, consistently ever, like that you just really loved?
I got really into the Fable games. Those were really fun. Like 1, 2, and 3. Really, really enjoyed those. But it took me, I was very much into the Halo games. I loved Halo very much. And then it took me a really long time to get into games until like the start of the quarantine. I got back into games again. And so I've been sticking with Fortnite for quite a couple of years now, but trying to expand a little bit more than just Fortnite all the time. So that's when I started playing with you guys. I haven't been playing like, you know, crazy solid for a long time.
Yeah, it's nice to see that that women are actually probably into gaming, probably maybe even more so than dudes these days. You know, because when I was coming up, it was just the girls were just like, yeah, you know. But then the games were shitty too. It's just like, who wants to play Pac-Man for real? Like, you looking back, it's like only dudes were really playing Pac-Man, you know, because
Yeah.
I think women,
I mean, I played Nintendo games and stuff as a kid, and the first PlayStation games and stuff as a kid, but nothing really like stood out. It just, you know, felt like those games are on repeat a lot, you know. Mario, Duck Hunt, all of those kind of games were just repetitive. Kirby's Adventure, every one of those. So
I remember in college we played we played Mario Brothers for, that was the only thing really. I mean, we sometimes we played Duck Hunt, but you know, you play Duck Hunt, inevitably somebody's going to lose the gun, and then it's just, or you just get so pissed off at that fucking dog when you miss. That dog would pop up out of the grass and go
And well, once you learn how to cheat with those games too, there's no point. Like if you're playing Duck Hunt, all you had to do to make sure you hit the duck was put the gun right up to the TV, and then you'd always hit the duck no matter what. So, and then in Mario Brothers, you just, you know, find those certain levels with the pipes to go to like 3 to 6 levels forward, and you're at, you know, round 8, you know, the 8th area, and your 9th area, and you're pretty much done with the game. You skipped everything. Once you learn that, it's boring. Then you're like forcing yourself to do the hard work for what, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's kind of like the first time you play it, there's some novelty to it, but yeah, once you figure out the cheat codes, like in Mario Brothers, there's this one thing where it was like the steps, and the turtle was coming down or something. And there was some cheat where you could like get right on the edge of the first step and just and jump up and down, and the turtle, you would hit the turtle would hit the step and bounce back, and you'd hit the turtle again. So the turtle would be just going ding 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 ding, and you're getting all these coins and shit, right? And you just get like, you know, you could just sit there for as long as you could stand doing it. And just get like all these coins and shit like that. And then you'd end up leveling up. You'd get like, you know, 20 or 30 lives or something like that.
Yep.
But you know, I came up with the so the first one we had was Pong. We played Pong, right? And it had the little knobs on there where you can like manipulate the paddles. And then we had Atari 2600. A buddy of mine had the Intellivision, which was basically Atari but with a lot better graphics. But Intellivision kind of went the way of Beta, right? Beta versus VHS, because like the thing was, Beta didn't really go away. Beta just kind of became like TV stations started using it because it was higher quality. But that was the thing. Those tapes were more expensive and people didn't want to do that. They figured VHS was good enough quality for the price, right? And nobody wanted to get a special Betamax player. So it ended up going to TV stations, because I remember working at TV back in the 90s and we had Betamax and it was good quality video, but it was just too expensive. And that was the thing. Intellivision was a little expensive too. And then you had ColecoVision too, that had probably the most realistic version of Donkey Kong at the time, that looked just like the arcade game, right? You played Donkey Kong or something like that on Atari, or Pac-Man on Atari. It just looked like the first time. This was the thing. So Pac-Man back in the 80s was just like the big game, right? People would play Pac-Man in the arcades. And finally it was coming to Atari 2600 and people were like, "All right, we're going to get to play Pac-Man at home." And it was the most garbage looking. It was the Food Club of Pac-Man. It was like, it didn't even sound like it. It was just bom, 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 boop, boop, boop. We're like, what the fuck's this shit? It's supposed to go, wah, wah, when he dies, and it's supposed to. Anyway, it was a big disappointment. It was a disappointment. So, but then we got to college and got Nintendo, and Nintendo had its bugaboos too, right? You had the cartridges. So when you got a brand new cartridge, brand new game, for about maybe like a month, it would be okay. But then you'd put it in, so you slide in the cartridge, right? And I think you had to slide it in and then you pushed it down to lock it in, I think. I could be wrong about that. But anyway, you put it in and the screen would be blue. What the fuck? So you had to take the cartridge out and blow the dust out of the cartridge and then put it in there. And even sometimes that didn't work. Sometimes you had to like tap it. There was like a little, almost like Morse code. You had to tap it a certain way to get it to, and then it would play. It's very, but then they started going to DVDs and CD-ROMs and stuff like that. And they kind of, then you had scratch discs you had to worry about. So, you never had any of that kind. You said you haven't been gaming too long, right?
Yeah, I've been gaming pretty much my whole life. Just took like pretty decent break in the mid to late 2000s.
Yeah, that's. Oh, you had a kid?
Yeah.
Let's see, I moved to California, and I didn't really pay attention to video games when I was out in California. And then it wasn't until when I moved to New York, my buddy, my roommate, he had a PlayStation 2, I think. And that's when he started playing Grand Theft Auto on there. I think it was Grand Theft Auto 4 he was playing. And he was playing it online. And that's when I started getting back into gaming, and was because it was a fun game. I really enjoyed it. And now I play the 5th one, and the 6th one is supposed to come out right like in the next 5 years, something like that. I think Rockstar finally started focusing solely on GTA 6. So I don't think they're doing updates anymore for GTA 5 or even for the new Red Dead Redemption game. You've never played that, have you? Red Dead Redemption. Have you seen it though? Have you seen what the graphics look like?
Yes, and I love them.
Yes, it's just that whole that whole world is just beautiful, and it's huge too. The thing about that, and this was the thing that happened with Fallout 76 and with Cyberpunk 2077 was out of the gate, it was just glitchy as hell, you know, just like this fucked up, you know, shit happening with horses and, you know, like horses just, you know, walking through walls and just all kinds of weird, like they'd fly through the air and stuff like that. And that's the thing. That's the thing with games now. They don't, there's too big of a rush to get them to market, you know? So it's just now the industry standard, it seems, is get it out there. Yeah, it's going to be buggy, but we'll have a patch for you, a day one patch for you. Like, we'll just wait a day and then put the patch on it and then send the game out, you know? Yep. But they don't do that. They got to get that out there as quickly as possible. And I've heard horror stories about people who work these gaming companies too, that they're just, it's like the people that those poor people in China that work at those Apple sweatshops, you know, they're just like poor working conditions. They're just like, you know, constantly under pressure for deadlines, and, you know, probably don't get paid that much either. You know, it's like, you know, it's sad the way these games have gone, you know. You ever heard of anything like that? Like the working conditions at these gaming companies? Mm-mm. It's because you don't care, Jimmy. You don't care about that guy who's rotund and with the ever-present Big Gulp cup on his desk, slaving away so you can have pixels to shoot at there.
I've seen like Grandma's Boy, so I always think it's like that.
You've seen Grandma's Boy? I love that movie.
I love that movie.
It's the best Adam Sandler movie that doesn't have Adam Sandler in it. It has all his buddies in. Sandler. Exactly. It's like the guys that were in The Wedding Singer, The Water Boy, Tommy Boy, no, not Tommy Boy, Billy Madison, like those side characters. Only this is the guy, the main guy, I think was the limo driver in The Wedding Singer. I can't remember the dude's name, but and Jonah Hill is in that movie, and he's sucking titty in that movie too.
Yeah, he does.
That's Jonah Hill. I think that was like one of his first movies, and he's just like, you know, the sucking titty. And yeah, that movie is great. It's not, you know, it's not Schindler's List, but it's great for what it is. It's a great video game movie. You know, I think that's what it is. You know,
it's a good movie.
You know, the part where he's in the bathroom and he has the action figure and he's like, eh.
Oh no.
And his friend's mom comes in and he's like, he just covers her and he goes, I can't stop coming. Oh
my god, it's so
yeah,
horrible.
It was great. But those old ladies that got stoned and and they were having a good time. It's that one chick. Now they go over to Dante's place and he's got that monkey. He goes, "Shut up, monkey! Yes. I got company here."
Oh my gosh!
There's another good.
He had, like,
there's
all
another
sorts
good.
of crazy pets.
Yeah, he said he had a lion, and then he said the lion got loose, and then he had the monkey. The monkey that knew karate. And then they got the monkey to drive them because they were too high to drive, so they got the monkey to drive.
Yeah.
That movie was so stupid.
So great.
Yeah, well, the one part I did like in particular was like at the very beginning. I think he's getting kicked out. Him and his roommate, he gets kicked out of the apartment by the landlord. And one of the guys says, "Get a hooker," and his buddy goes, "You're a hooker." I don't know why that part was so funny, but me and my nephew would say that to each other all the time. I'd say, "You're a something," he goes, "You're a hooker."
Oh my gosh.
Yes, this does sound better than Schindler's List, to be honest with you. It's a lot funnier. It's definitely a lot funnier. Schindler's List for a comedy, that was just crap. I'm just saying those writers need to be fired. Anywho, but there's another great old people get stoned movie. It has Craig Ferguson in it. It's called Saving Grace, and it's about this lady, and she's like this award-winning florist. Like, she wins all these flower shows and stuff like that, right? And and then her husband dies, and turns out he's been cheating on her, and he didn't leave her any money in the will, and so she has to find a way to make money. So this was before Weeds came out, that TV show Weeds, right? So Craig Ferguson has these plants, right? He has these pot plants, but he's not really doing it right. He doesn't really know how to grow them that well. So she brings them into her greenhouse, right? And just this beautiful, like, Christmas bud, it's just like red and green and just like, oh. So the ending is kind of silly, but there's this one part where these ladies are over at her place, and they find some pot, and they think it's tea, so they brew some tea out of it, and they're back at they work at this store, and this guy comes in. I think he's the cop or something, looking for the lady who was growing the weed, and they're just like, ah! Just these old English ladies just high off their ass. It's so good. But it's called Saving Grace, and it's got Craig Ferguson in it, and it's just really good. Nobody's ever heard of it. It's just one of those underrated movies that, people should, if you find it, I don't know where you could find it. Maybe Netflix. I don't know. It could be on one of those streaming services, but it's just, it may very well be on like what are those free streaming services, but they have like commercials in it? It's like, what's the one?
Like Roku.
Yeah, kind of like that. They're kind of
Pluto.
Yeah, there's another one too. I can't remember it, but there's a whole bunch of those free sites that you just have to deal with commercials in it. So it's like you're watching the movie on TV or something. So
yeah,
network television. Yeah. So anyway, that was a tangent. You was talking about Grandma's Boy, and it just reminded me of old people getting high. And I think old people should be getting high. I don't think they should have like pills and stuff like that. They should give them edibles. They're old. Well, if let them live the rest of their life happy and hungry. And then just feed them whatever they want. They're old people. They did their bit for king and country. Let's take care of them. Let's take care of them with weed. That's what I'd want. I'm pretty sure you're not going to be in the home. You're going to be in your own home, probably growing plants and doing that kind of shit. You'd be like Mrs. Roper from Three's Company, wearing like this big dress and, just like, I love weed. It's so good.
Lots of weed and lots of cats. I'm going to be the crazy cat lady.
Like in The Simpsons, that cat, she opens her coat up and she starts reaching in and pulling out cats and throwing them at people.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
She's my favorite Simpsons character. The crazy cat lady.
Me too.
There are so many different characters on there, but that crazy cat lady, because she's not on there very often, right? And when she is, she's throwing cats at people. It's great.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's exciting. It's something to look forward to. Although I haven't watched The Simpsons in quite some time. Did you ever watch The Simpsons?
A while ago. Not a lot, but I did.
I think the first few seasons, when it came out, I watched it pretty religiously. Hell, it came on in 87. So it was originally on the Tracy Ullman show right when Fox started up. So yeah, it was around in 87. So that's been what, 35 years it's been on? Easy. But yeah, after a while you're just like, okay. And now I hear it's kind of gotten pretty shit libby on there, you know, because all the people, the writers and the voice actors, they're all shit libs, you know. They're just like, Trump broke their brain, you know, and COVID broke their brain, and Ukraine broke their brain, and you know, it's just I don't want to see that in a cartoon that I used to love watching.
Yep.
And Miguel gets it right. He said, I used to watch the Tracy Ullman show just for The Simpsons. Right? That's kind of like back in the early 90s when MTV had Liquid Television on. I think that was the first, I want to say that was the first time. That's when Beavis and Butthead was on Liquid Television. I could be wrong. It could have been standalone. I always get that and Ren and Stimpy confused as to which one started on Liquid Television. When MTV was good. Yeah, when they actually were showing music videos. Apparently they don't show music videos on MTV anymore.
I don't know.
When's the last time you watched MTV?
Jeez. Probably like at least 15 years.
Yeah, I think, yeah, maybe early 90s is when I stopped watching it, and now it's just all reality shows and stuff like that, and no videos. I didn't even think VH1 shows videos anymore either. Do they even still make? I guess they still make music videos, right? I guess people watch them on YouTube or something.
They do early. Well, from what I remember, VH1 does music videos early in the morning, like a top 10 at like 8 in the morning. But I think that was a long time ago, so I don't know anymore.
VH1 Classic is the continuation of MTV. So now there's two VH1s, right? So there's VH1 and VH1 Classic, maybe. Yeah, I mean, yeah. If people want to see a music video, yeah, music videos are more a YouTube thing now. That makes sense. You know, or I guess they have them on TikTok too, right? Don't they do music videos on TikTok?
No. Mostly
no?
YouTube. YouTube, Spotify, Apple. That's where they get their numbers for the awards.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, V8. Well, yeah. Well, MTV does MTV Music Awards, but how do they do Video Music Awards when they don't have videos?
Spotify and all those platforms, like they count how many times people have been watching, how many times or listening to that song, how many people bought the album off of there, and then I think that's how they base their awards, is the tops of those throughout the year.
Jax Page, what's up, lady? The Headbangers Ball back in the day was the best. Yes, I used to love the Headbangers Ball. They usually play that at like midnight. And what was his name? Ricky. Who was the VJ on there? I can't remember. I think it was I can't remember the guy. Ricky Rap or so. I don't know. It was, but yeah, that's where you would see like all the metal shit, because you weren't going to see metal shit the rest of the time on MTV. It's usually like pop rock or something like that. And then you want to see Metallica or Megadeth or anything like that, you had to watch at midnight. Usually on Saturday nights too. I bet now to compete with MTV, they used to have Friday night videos on NBC, I think. And so every Friday night, like around 10 o'clock, I think, they would show videos and stuff. I used to watch that religiously back in the mid 80s. Because you could get music on there that we couldn't get on our local radio stations. We had top 40 station that and a shit ton of country that I ain't gonna listen to country music. No, not in the 80s, not that 80s country music. You know, you want to throw some, like, you know, Johnny Cash or something like that on there, that's one thing, but you know, it wasn't like that. But so you had like a lot of pop rock. So if you wanted like metal or hard, you know, or even like, you know, classic rock or something like that, you'd have to get that out of New Orleans at WRNO. And New Orleans it's not that far away, but it was far enough that you couldn't pick up the signal. You could only pick up WRNO in like late night, and it was all crackly and stuff like that, and you couldn't listen. So you had to listen to the local station that was playing the top 40 stuff. So, but yeah, Friday night videos was a thing. And then they had, they started doing like once a month on NBC, they would do, when it was WWF, they would do wrestling. That always pissed me off because even though I liked wrestling at the time, I wanted to watch music videos. I didn't want to watch wrestling. I could get that on Saturday afternoons because that's when the wrestling was. And, you know, so they did that just to piss me off. They didn't care at all about my feelings. So, but the music videos was pretty cool. You know, that's when the Michael Jackson Thriller video was like this 15-minute long thing that was unheard of at the time. And, you know, because just kind of basically a mini movie. And it was all hyped to hell and back. All of Michael Jackson's stuff was hyped to hell and back. And then, but I mean, there's such great music in the 80s, though. And the videos a lot of times reflected that. You could, you know, a lot of times sometimes the videos made them better. Sometimes they made them worse. You know, sometimes you're like, why, you know, sometimes it was just the early videos was just them on stage, just playing, you know, just basically lip syncing to the song that they had already recorded. I think Back in Black was like that too. It's just them on stage playing Back in Black. You know, there's no story, there's no cinematography. It's just, you know, it's just them playing. So, you know, that's how it was.
80s was full of a lot of that, though, like bands just playing on the stage for their music videos.
Yeah, they had no concept of, you know, making it an artistic endeavor, right? They didn't, there was no, that was the thing, because that, like, you know, since the dawn of television, bands came on shows, that's just them on stage playing to a crowd, you know, playing to a crowd in the studio. And, you know, it wasn't until, I don't know, who was it? What was the very first music video was by the Buggles. You know, Video Killed the Radio Star. And that was the thing. It was just like, people had never seen anything like that. It was just this little 3.5 minute movie. But it was a musical, more or less, right. You know?
Right.
And then, you know, it started getting a little more creative. And, you know, and then I think it reached a tipping point to where, you know, there was only so much you could do, you know, with the technology that you had. Now today, you know, like, for example, there was a Lionel Richie song, Dancing on the Ceiling, right? And it showed him walking up a wall and then walking on the ceiling. And at the time, it was just like, that was like cutting edge, you know, video effects technology, you know, the way they had to, they turned this room, you know, but you couldn't see it turn. The camera was locked in position as the room turned. So, you know, it was a neat little visual effect, but nowadays they could pretty much create somebody who looks almost lifelike, and still the video is just going to suck because nobody cares, because the music sucks. You know, you can have the best music video in the world, but the music sucks. Yeah. You know. True. Do you like what kind of music do you like? I mean, as far as like what genre, not genre, but what era of music is your favorite?
I definitely like the 2000s rock genre era. Very fun, like the punk, rock, emo rock, all of those kind of things. Gothic rock. I definitely loved the rock 2000s. Was a lot of fun.
Oh, you mean
from like Sum 41, Blink 182, Evanescence, even like stuff like Simple Plan, dumb things like that. I loved all of it. It was beautiful, all of it. Fuck, there were so many.
And particularly Limp Bizkit, right?
No, definitely not Limp Bizkit. Definitely not. It's System of a Down, Rage Against the Machine. Those were really good. Big part of my teenage upbringing for sure.
I think that's gonna be a running joke on this show.
I know, forever.
It's Limp Bizkit. And we have to blame Les Bones for that. For saying one of the songs we play at the beginning of the show was Limp Bizkit. How dare you, sir?
How dare you, sir?
I think when I got out of radio, I kind of stopped listening to modern music. So there are a lot of I would say after 94, there are a lot of gaps as far as like there's a lot you could probably tell me some of the groups that were big back then, and I wouldn't know who they were. Only because I just wasn't paying attention, I guess. I still like the music. I was still stuck in the past, you know, particularly like classic rock music and stuff like that. I would rather listen to like Pink Floyd or Led Zeppelin or, you know, The Who or somebody like that over whatever band was playing. And that's no slight to the band. It's just, you know, I was still stuck in those interests of those bands back in the day. But through the years, there's been, you know, I picked up a few newer sounds that I like this band No Small Children that I discovered playing in the end credits of the Santa Clarita Diet show.
Oh,
just
shit.
like the most. Yeah, I mean, that's where a lot of my new music comes from. Is just that they'll end up playing them like in a movie, like movie credits or like a TV show credit, that sort of thing. And I found No Small Children. They're just they reminded me of the Donnas, I guess, from the 90s. Just like all women, just hard rock music, just really good. Fits in the Tantrums was one of the more recent ones a friend of mine turned me on to. And they kind of, for each album, they kind of change up their sound a little bit. Like this one album, it's more of like a 60s kind of sound, and then another one is more of an 80s kind of feel. But the Fits in the Tantrums are really good. They have some really good stuff. With Gamer says, I like Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit.
No.
More Than Just a Dream. Yeah, that's a good one. LOV is a good one by Fits in the Tantrums too. We actually saw them here in twice. Once in Manhattan at this place called The Factory, and up at a music festival up in Queens. was pretty cool. I love my favorite band from the 80s though, probably is, and still is probably Tears for Fears. I've always been a super fan of Tears for Fears, and even when they fell out of the limelight, basically once the 80s were over with, they still had some pretty kick-ass albums. And even though they had split up for a while, the one of the lead singers, Roland Orzabal, if I can get that out, did some solo albums, but they were very Tears for Fears-esque. So Kurt Smith was the other guy in Tears for Fears, and more of his influences on the very first album they did, The Hurting, which not a lot of people know about. Everybody knows about songs from The Big Chair where, you know, shout and everybody wants to rule the world and head over heels and those songs, you know, the big ones. But they were the ones. What's his name? Ryan Adams, not Brian Adams, but Ryan Adams did that song Mad World. It's very, you know, slow with the piano. It was in the movie Donnie Darko. Tears for Fears originally did that song on their first album, The Hurting, and it sounds nothing like it. I mean, it's the same tune, but it's different beat. It's more of a like an 80s pop, you know. It's you know, obviously I wish I could play it here, but yeah, I'll play it for you sometime. You'll be like, wow, that is a totally different song. Okay. But it's the same lyrics and it's the same key, but that's where it's just like it's very poppy. And then that's very slow and moody, the way Ryan Adams does it too. I think it's Ryan Adams that does it.
I'm down.
But yeah, you'll probably hate it. I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of their first album, because they sound a lot more like Depeche Mode than they do. Once they got to songs for The Big Chair, they kind of mellowed out a little bit, but it's a little better. It's a little more kind of new wave on the first album. But you know, I don't hate. It's still decent stuff. Hey, Ed Heller's in the chat. Good to see you, brother. So yeah, I could probably talk about music all night. You know, probably shouldn't. What do you want to talk about? When you seem very sedate, and
I am.
Are you pondering things?
Purring like crazy.
Which one is that?
It's Burton.
Look at him. Just I can see the cartoon Z's over his head. It's great.
He's so floofy.
Miguel, you're right. Head over heels is that's my favorite. I love the video. I loved it in Donnie Darko too. I thought it was just I don't know. I hear that song and it's just like it just takes me back instantly. 35 years, almost 40 years now. I can't believe that. But I don't know. I was gonna say something now. I forgot what I was gonna say. Maybe I was gonna talk about your cat. And look at the background too. Jimi has a nice background there, doesn't she? It's just all. It's kind of like a Halloween / holiday type vibe there. You know, you got little sparklies back there that the kitty is trying to get at.
I know, it's horrible. It's trying to go for him.
How many has he knocked down?
None yet. We're still good. Well, I mean, he took the other ones earlier, so we're down like 3, but I put 2 more back up, so we'll see how long it lasts. He's going for him right now, so I grabbed him.
He's talking about the Go-Go's. Ed Heller says the Go-Go's. I like the Go-Go's. There's some really good all female bands that I think are fantastic. Heart, like I said, the Donnas, I really like them. The Go-Go's, the Bangles, I like the Bangles too. You know, Walk Like an Egyptian, Manic Monday. I always thought those were pretty good. Who's like to see like a chick rocking too, right? Because I saw Joan Jett down at Coney Island a few years ago. And what's her name? Pat Benatar too. That was a great show too. The chicks know how to rock, man. You know?
Yep.
It was a good time. It was a good time for the 80s and for female bands back then too. So Willie said he saw him in 2009, Joe Jett.
Oh shit.
Randy says I like Puddle of Mud. I've seen Toad the Wet Sprocket live too. You ever go to like music festivals at all? We used to go to those too. They had these music festivals up in Wisconsin. It was Rock Fest, right? And it was basically these old rock bands that end up on the casino circuits now, you know, that play at these casinos. You know, they're not doing big stadium tours or anything like that anymore. So they would get these guys together, you know, like they had one year they had Boston, but it only had like maybe half the band there. Same thing with Fleetwood Mac. It was Mick Fleetwood and John McAfee, and then like a whole bunch of people you never heard of. No Stevie Nicks, no Lindsey Buckingham, none of those people. They had Bruce Hornsby there one year, and it was great because he was playing Mandolin Rain, right? Which is a pretty decent song. He was playing Mandolin Rain, and then it started raining. So it was like he'd conjured rain with his song.
Nice.
So that's what,
very nice.
You know, we were pretty drunk though too. There was no, we weren't stoners yet. We were all getting boozed up and watching the shows and going woo and throwing chairs. Right. It was great. I saw the lead singer of Rat. He was playing Round and Round, and he was on this catwalk, and he fell off the catwalk and broke his leg, and everybody started cheering. That was a rough crowd. It was a really rough crowd when you start cheering for somebody to break their leg. Like, just don't watch, okay? Just, you know, you have a choice. You don't have to watch the show. Just, you know, don't cheer for tragedy. See, I told you this show is going to be full of love and tragedy, gamer, and you were like, what? So there was love with AOC and Elon, and there was tragedy when Leroy Jenkins fucked up that game for everybody. So.
That's right.
You don't like that though. You don't like people doing their own thing. You like plans, right? When you're playing like team online games, you're very OCD
I like to
that.
make sure I'm prepared for sure.
You want some structure, right? You want a solid. We're gonna do this, A, B, C. Let's go by the book. And then there's always some wildcat doing their own thing, fucking up the mix, right?
Yeah. But that's the reason why I like to plan for things, is because there's always that wild card somewhere that somebody's gonna fuck it up and it's gonna mess me up and I'm gonna die. So I don't do it for everyone else's safety. I do it for my own safety.
Right. Well, yeah, you got to take care of yourself in those video games because,
fuck,
you know,
yeah.
You got people doing crazy shit in there. They don't really care.
Yeah. I mean, I'll make sure you guys are fed. I'll make sure you guys are homed. I will make sure that the house looks awesome. I'll make sure that there's enough materials there so you guys can keep building whatever you want to do. And there's enough lights and food and water. Just don't fucking kill me when we go out. That's all I ask.
I got to tell everybody. So me and Jimmy have been playing video games for a little bit now. At least this year, right? And we played several games together. And I got to tell you, Jimmy is the best video game wife to have. Seriously. when you got to build structures, structures and stuff like that, and if you need something, she's gonna take care of you with it. She's just like,
that's right. I'm a good comrade.
She takes care of people. That's the best way to be in those video games. No, I like that. I like that kind of camaraderie too. I like it when everybody works well together and knows what's going on, for one thing. I don't really like playing with people if I don't know what's going on. I mean, I'm a little uncomfortable at first until I get comfortable with the game, and then I feel a little better about it, because I don't want to be that guy that's fucking everybody over or whatever. But
right.
So I want to bring both worlds together, music and video games, right? Because I don't know if you know this, there was a video game in the 80s. It was called Journey. And it had the members, you played these video games. There was various games that you played on it, right? It was the stand-up arcade game, right? And you played with various members of the group Journey, right? So you had Steve Smith on the drums. So he's in his drum set and he's at the top of the screen, and you gotta drum and shoot lasers out of the drums at these creatures that are coming at you. And then Steve Perry, the lead singer, he had a microphone that you shot lasers out of. There's always lasers in these 80s games, right? So, but they had the music in there too, but it was always that Atari, 8-bit kind of music, like do 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 do, and you're like, oh man, this is just awful. And the only reason I played that video game, it was awful video game. They had no business making that game. I know it's cash grab. I don't know how much cash they grabbed. Probably not that much. But I got to tell you this, the only reason I played this game, because the only game I ever saw this in stand-up form was at the Quick Stop in Wiggins, Mississippi, and the highest score of the week, we get a free pizza. So, yes, Journey Escape game. That's right. Ed remembers that. And it was available on Atari, too. I remember, and it was even worse on Atari. Atari had no business trying to copy these popular video games, because they always just butchered them. They didn't look like it. It looked like, if I had went in and programmed a video game, and I don't know how to program a video game for shit. So, it's like the monkeys trying to type Shakespeare on typewriters. It was the same thing they were doing with video games. It's just horrible. But, it was a time back then, You didn't have internet, so, and I remember, I think when high school, we would trade games, right? So you would bring your Atari cartridge to school, and somebody would have their Atari cartridge, and you'd swap. You usually keep it, usually you'd have it for a good while. And then you're like, okay, now I've played this enough. I want to play something else, but I don't want to buy something else. I want to play it first. Oh, dude, over here's got this. Let me swap him this for this. And so that's how you did it back in the day. So you'd swap games. And we got Roar Media over on the Rockfin. What is up? Great show earlier this evening. Beauty and the Boomer. If you didn't get a chance to check that out, please do so. Very fun show as always. They did a Thanksgiving night show too, I believe, and it was fantastic. So kudos to the Roar Media team over there. So Ed says, my cousin had E.T. for Atari 2600. It was impossible to play. Yeah, it was kind of gross. It really wasn't that great. Like, it's like, E.T., look everybody, E.T., and then you play the game, you're like, You know, I think Indiana Jones, they had an Indiana Jones game that was a little better. But it was some of those Atari games were just, they were just low
I heard
rent.
that the ET game is worth a lot of money right now, though.
You know what? That's true. Like, and so I went to Comic-Con this year, right? And on the show floor there, you know, there's people, the vendors there selling stuff, and they had, yeah, like if you have like old Atari games that are like, if you never opened it, or if you had like these special edition demo, not demos, but like special edition that they use for tournaments, that they never sold to the public, those things were going for like, they had one they were selling for $300,000. $300K for a cartridge that you probably wasn't going to play. You were just going to keep in a safe or something like that. It's ridiculous. But yeah, it was just, I don't know. I maybe I should have kept some of those games. I know my sister still has our Pong game somewhere. I'm pretty sure that's probably worth something to some collector to sit on their shelf and collect dust. Yeah, that's true. Who would have had unopened games? Yeah. Well, Miguel says, who would have had unopened games back in the day? It would have been a waste of money. It's the Richies, man. It's just like today, you know, it's these collectors. They did that with Star Wars figures too. And the action sets and stuff. They'd buy one to keep and play with, and the other they'd keep in the thing and collect it, right? I knew a guy in high school, he had all of them. He was so into Star Wars, he had every single action figure twice. One he kept in the package, and the other he played with. Man, he had the Millennium Falcon action figure set, you know, where you could open it up and like they could sit in the Millennium Falcon and shit like that. Say, you're crazy, man. But his parents had money, so you know he was able to do that. You know, me, I had Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader, and the fucking lightsabers. Always the little plastic lightsabers broke out of it, so you had to stick toothpicks in there, and then you're like,
oh,
we's po people. Po people. We can't afford no Millennium Falcon. We couldn't afford a regular Falcon that came in our yard and pooped on the yard and stuff.
Wouldn't that be awesome?
It's just like, I have the Millennium Falcon. Well, I have a real Falcon. Attack! Right. My eyes, it hurts. There's so much blood. But now, so Pac-Man for Atari 2600 sucked ass. It was just terrible. But Miss Pac-Man for Atari 2600, not bad. They actually, I think they learned their lesson. They like Pac-Man for Atari was like New Coke at the time. It was just like garbage. Nobody wanted it. So then they came out with Miss Pac-Man. So all right, we're gonna here now. It looks like the game you play in the arcade. So, you ever go to video arcades when you were a kid?
Yeah, we had one next to our movie theater.
Yeah. Once you put the quarters in and play the stand-up games.
Yeah, of course.
Oh.
And then they like upgraded, you know, the movie theaters where you got like Dance Dance Revolution and all like, you know, the racing games and all of that when we got a little bit older. So they upgraded them.
They have bars here. I'm pretty sure they probably do in Chicago and other places too, but they have at least three places here called Barcade, and they have these old stand-up video games, like, you know, from way back in the day, like Pac-Man, Dig Dug, the one where you're a bartender and you have to sling the beers down the bar and you have to go to different ones and sling them down. So they have those games in there, and it's in a bar. So yeah, so it's like, you know, you go in there, you get an overpriced craft beer, and you know, you pump quarters into these video games just like you did back in the day. It's a total nostalgia grab, but it totally works. You know, and then they have like, you know, they'll have pool tables in there and foosball, and they'll have they have these hockey games, right? That has the big plastic bubble over the table, right? And it's kind of like foosball, where you had like different sticks that you use to move the hockey guys, right? So
right.
At this pizza joint that I used to go to on the Gulf Coast, they had one of those, right? And of course, this was the 80s, so you had it was the USA versus the USSR. And you had this button that you could push. You could only push it like 3 times per game, and it would work. And it was a boo button, so you get the crowd to boo. And so at the beginning of the game, they'd start playing the Star Spangled Banner, right? So, oh, say, and I immediately hit the boo button, like boo. And little did I know that secretly I was actually a fan of the USSR at the time. Even though we were steeped in propaganda about how horrible place it was, bread lines for miles, and you know how they just like disappear people and stuff like that, you know. So it was a different time,
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
You got who's tippy tapping?
It's my dog.
Is that Lady or is that Dodger?
Dodger. He does that, like when he gets excited about things, he goes on the ground like weird, like I'm gonna get you. It's really weird. He's doing it right now. So.
I love people and their spaz dogs. Their spaz dogs are the best, you know. But sometimes they're just nice and chill. Kitty! Either that or you grew a tail out of the back of your head.
No, he's just fucking psycho. Look at how cute he is, though. He's so fucking cute.
And Kitty wants the. Oh, look, he's going for the evil trees.
He's gonna get one. He's gonna eventually get one. He's so cute, though. I love
that.
him.
Is cute. That is cute. I love those cats. I'm a super fan of cats. I mean, I love dogs. I love all animals, but cats are a little bit more apartment friendly. You know, you don't have to go walk a cat. You know, just hit one down.
There it goes.
We should just
get them all.
You know, we're just. Yeah,
I know, right? Just might as well just put him. Just let him have his own show. It's all him now. It's his show.
This is not the secret show anymore. This is the Burton show.
Yep.
We're just gonna watch this cat destroy
the fat boy
behind there.
Fat boy.
Cats are like very jealous. They want attention, right? And if they know that you're doing something right, and they'll like I'll see on Chicago Corner and Jerry's cat Oreo will just get it right up in front of the screen, right in front of the camera, and just do it. It's like, you're gonna see me, motherfucker. You're gonna see me. I will be seen. You will not hide me from your friends. So cats do. It's like you don't pay attention to them enough. That's the thing, though. You pay attention to them too much, they don't like it. You don't pay attention to them enough, they don't like it. It's just like these cats are never happy. I mean, that cat's pretty happy right now, getting the scratchies. It's like, look at that face. Look at that face, that little sweet face. Oh,
I know. Look at him. He's such a big old baby.
He is.
He's
He looks
so
just like
weird.
his mom too. Oh, little kissies for mommy.
He's so
Sniff,
cute.
sniff,
I love
kissy,
him so
kisses.
much.
My cats would never
Okay,
kiss
hi.
me. They were always just like, I try to give them kisses, and they're like, fuck out of my face, dude. Because I raised them with attitude, son. Right?
See, I raised them with kisses. I made them get used to my face in their face.
My cats were street cats. They were like, meow, bitch. You heard? And then, you know, then they lick their balls in front of you. I had a
He tries
friend.
to lick his balls, but he don't have any more.
Aww. Poor guy. He's singing falsetto in the shower. I tell you, I've told the story on this show before, and I like to tell it as often as I can. My buddy Don, we would go over to his house, and we'd just get stoned. And he had a cat named Hobbs, this big orange tabby, right? Cat was mean as a snake, too. The cat would get in your lap, he would fool you, right? He'd be like, hey, I want some petting. And you sit there, stoner, you're stoning out, you know, petting the cat, you're not paying attention. And then after a while, that cat would just go, just start freaking out on you. Like, get the fuck off me. But, so, and they fed him cheese a lot. That cat would eat so many pieces of cheese. And the cat got huge, right? The cat was big. And so the big thing that he did, though, was, so when we'd be like over at Don's watching Sunday football or something like that, you know, drinking, smoking, we're not paying attention to the fucking cat. The cat will walk into the middle of the living room with this doll in its teeth, right? It just drop the doll in the middle of the floor and start fucking it, right? And it was a squeaky toy too, so every once in a while you hear squeaky, squeaky, squeaky. And we'd always say, oh shit, Hobbs, bring this bitch out. He's gonna say, I'm gonna show you how it's done, you incels.
Oh no.
And he'd end up just that dirty ass little, and it looked like a little, I don't know, it looked like a little gingerbread person, right? And it was just like, you just see him walking in the middle. He did it so often. The first time was gold because nobody was expecting him. But then around like the 10th time or something, you'd see him walking from the kitchen and he had that doll in his mouth. You knew it's all right. Here comes the show. We're going to get to see it. And then you drop it on the floor. And sure enough, squeaky, 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 squeaky. Anyway,
that's awesome.
I love telling that story. I don't do it justice. You have to see it, but unfortunately, Hobbs is no longer with us. R.I.P. King, and that cat, he can't live to be like 20 years old though. I was amazed. All the cheese that cat, I think the cheese actually preserved that cat somehow for 20 years. And it was a stoner cat too. That cat was always getting secondhand smoke up in there. That place looked like a club. There'd be smoke all over the place. They wasn't like we're going outside to smoke a bowl. No, we're smoking inside. This is Mississippi. Everybody smokes inside of Mississippi, you know. And nowadays they don't. Now people go outside and like they'll smoke cigarettes outside, but they'll smoke weed inside because you know it's still illegal. They don't want Johnny Law coming around sniffing in their business. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I can hear him just going.
I know, I'm trying to calm him down, but he won't.
He's he's so chill.
Out.
Right?
Yeah.
Little sweet thing though.
I know.
We love those kitties.
So precious.
Oh my goodness. Well, we're getting close to the end here. It's 2:01 here on the East Coast. Probably time to wrap things up. It was an interesting conversation. I really wanted you to see that video. But before we go, So Les Bones shared this video with me, and I have no idea what the context is. I have no idea what the backstory is, but since Les Bones shared it, and he said earlier, it's something about shake that ass, I think.
Okay.
And so this has to have something to do with shaking ass, but I did get to watch a little bit of it. It's not what you think. So for our buddy Les Bones, we're playing this video for you, pal.
Okay.
And I have no idea what it's about, so we're gonna figure it out together. Okay? And may God have mercy on our souls.
Who else is going? Who is walking there? But who else?
I don't know how bad they are. Why don't they just walk the gutters? It ain't a far walk. It's just 38 miles. Why don't you walk? Why don't you walk the gutters?
Have you walked the gutters before?
I'll walk. Yeah, I can walk the gutters. Why don't you walk the gutters?
I don't need to walk the gutters.
Well, shit, no, you don't. You're gonna put everybody else walking the gutters. Why don't you just walk the gutters?
All right, I'll walk the gutters.
All right, let's go.
All right, hang on. Let me do this one time.
Man, let's go walking.
This guy, I think he's losing
How about
it.
strutting that ass? You'll be so goddamn fucking tired. The time you get to New Hope, you won't be strutting that ass. You'll be so goddamn fucking tired by the time you get to New Hope that you won't be strutting that ass. You'll be.
Well, what's got you so mad today?
Me?
Yeah.
Because everybody wants to run. Everybody wants to run. That's good. Run here at the Gunners. Well, I'll walk. I'll be right behind them and see how far they can run. It's a chauvinistic pig attitude that you're going to do something because you work at the arsenal and you got a fucking Mercedes-Benz and you ain't got to walk every day, so you're going to get out and strut that ass, strut that ass, strut that ass, strut that ass, strut that ass. When you start walking, my friend, and you get 10 and 15 miles on the highway, you won't be strutting that ass. You'll be half dead by the time you get there. So it's a chauvinistic pig attitude that Clinton's got. Strut that ass, strut that ass, strut that ass, strut that ass. And when you walk about 15 or 20 miles, you won't be strutting that ass. You'll be so fucking tired, you won't be hard to hold that ass up. You won't be strutting that ass, strutting that ass. You won't be strutting that ass when you...
And that's it. That's all you get. Oh shit. Exactly, Ed. What?
Wow. Why are people like that? I don't understand.
You ain't getting a New Hope. You ain't getting a New Hope. You gonna strut that ass. Strut that ass.
Strut that ass.
You're gonna be tired. Oh, okay. So, all right. So, Les Bones, he just dropped that in my Twitter DM. He didn't say anything what it was about, and I said it's just like a little Christmas present. And I saw it. I was okay. Let me look at this a little bit, and I saw that dude with the fucked up teeth. He was saying strutting that ass. I said, all right, we're gonna play this. I said, I don't want to watch anymore. I want to see. I want us to both experience this for the first time together, and I'm kind of glad we did. Thank you for that, Les Bones. You did fine, and yes, yuck it up because that shit was funny.
That's right.
He says, "Strut that ass, strut that ass." That's a nice little thing to end on. Anyway, you want to You got anything you want to promote there, lady? What's coming up for you here in the near future?
I think what's happening, just my show this week. I think on Tuesday I'm going to be having Willie Braggs on the show with me to go over the news, just whatever, hang out, see how that goes. And then just my show. That's it throughout the week.
And when is your show again?
Oh, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific time, which would be what? That 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern. So yeah, Monday through Friday.
Yeah, 1 to 4 on the East Coast. And she said Pacific time. She wasn't saying specific time. She meant the actual like the ocean Pacific time.
Right.
You know, some people hear Pacific and they think you're saying specific. Not this crew. The chat's very intelligent. Except for the ones that sneak in that don't know what the hell they got into. So some of those folks they get a little lost. He said, Jimmy, I'm looking forward to Tuesday.
Hey.
Once again, thanks again, Willie, for coming on Extra Bulla this past Monday. That was a blast. This Monday, we will have the lovely and talented Misty Winston, aka Comrade Misty. She's one of my pals. I was on her radio show, the Misty Winston Show, a few times on TNT Radio, and we always had a blast. And every time she comes on, it's easy work for me because she loves to talk. Boom, 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 and everything she says is gold. I just gotta sit back, just yes, tell me more. So I'll be we're gonna have her on. I believe we're gonna be doing that 7 o'clock Eastern. It's either 7 or 8, but I'll put out a tweet and all that good stuff, and it'll be the show will be up on YouTube. You'll see the time on there. So I can't be held to future dates anymore because my memory is shit. So and then we'll be back. Miss Jimmy and I will be back next Saturday night for the secret show. Tomorrow I may do a gamer stream. I'm not quite sure yet. That's usually I tell you, that's more of the secret show than this is. You pretty much know this show's coming on Saturday nights. The gamer show, that's usually a game time or a daytime decision, depending on how well I feel and if I really give a shit about showing people me fucking around on the computer. So we did a gaming stream this past Thursday for Thanksgiving, and it stopped on me like 3 times. Don't know why. I don't think it liked the games we were playing. So my computer's pretty fickle. It has champagne tastes on a beer pocketbook, so
right.
But yeah, so I want to thank everybody that that showed up tonight. Appreciate all y'all. If you missed this, don't worry about it. You only caught part of it. Just watch it. It'll be on the YouTubes. We're on Rockfin. We're on Rumble, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, all those good things. So you've got plenty of places. If you don't feel like watching it on YouTube, I don't blame you. Right. That's why we give you variety. So I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. The holidays are officially upon us. Hanukkah's coming up, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Ramadan. I think I could be wrong about that. Don't kill me if I got that wrong. There's a lot of holidays coming up, but also I do want to say this. December 23rd is a Friday night. We will be doing a show that night because December 23rd is Festivus for for the rest of us. So keep that in mind. We will be doing Festivus again this coming year. So not quite sure who the lineup is going to be. It's probably going to be people popping in and out. So have your list of your grievances that you wish to air. I do still have the Festivus poll from last year that I will be bringing out. There will be no feats of strength, unfortunately, because it's kind of hard to do over the internet. So you'll have to do the feats of strength on your own, fortunately. So, but we will be having that going on. Also, a week from Monday, the guys Keaton and Russell from Due Dissonance are going to be on the show. So I'm looking forward to a battle of the soundboards with them because, you know, it's pretty hard to top this.
Get your hand off my penis!
Get your hand off my penis. Shake that ass. Shake that ass. Shake that ass. Is that what he said? Did he say shake that ass? Can't remember.
That
was so long ago. I think that was so long ago. That was what, like 10 minutes ago? Wait, what? Anyway, Leroy Jenkins loves you. Any final thoughts, Jimmy, before we go?
Say hi.
Stay high, wash your ass, and strut that ass too. Wash it, and then strut that ass.
Right.
Thanks for coming out, everybody. Have a great night. Peace. Strut that ass. Strut that ass. Strut that ass.
Shut up, bitch!
Groovy.